Hello, today we're going to go over my Protection Warrior PvP setup. This has been probably the most fun I've had with this expansion in terms of Protection Warrior. I haven't really seen it be that prevalent this season, and I also haven't really seen it be that prevalent in any other like expansion. But this expansion, I decided to mess around with it, and man, is this thing mad fun. And as a side thing, before I forget, shout out to this guy for asking me to do the video. So for those of you that have been looking for a Prot Warrior guide, here it is for at the moment. I will say I'm not the best warrior in WoW, not even close. Or I wouldn't even say I'm good. I just been playing for a while and have an understanding a little bit of the character. And before we go any further, I want to make it clear that this is not really made for arenas. I am a super casual WoW player, so like I play like every day, right? But I don't do anything like super hardcore. Like I don't do mythics, I don't do mythic raids, heroic raids, I don't do any of that. All my gearing and things that I do in WoW are like the casual level. Like I've got all my, like I'm 610 item level, I think. And all of that gear is just from the vault, as well as doing my delves and things of that nature. So I don't really do arenas, I don't do mythics, I don't do raids, heroics, things like that. I just do like casual shit. Same thing for PvP. I have a lot of PvP gear, like I'm 634 PvP item level, so I have a lot of gear. However, I got that through just spamming epic battlegrounds for hours, because that's what I like to do. I'm a large scale player. That's just, I enjoy large scale. It's fun. So for those of you that are arena heads and you guys are spamming arenas trying to get to, 2000 plus rating, this is probably not going to help you do that. Maybe it will. I don't really know, but for the most part, this video is mainly for the casual player that just wants to hop in battlegrounds, goof around with friends, and just kind of have a good time. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the gear. So starting with the helmet, we're going to go head to toe here. So the helmet, we're running the 4-set War Sculptor tier, and this is okay. I will say that there's better ways to go about this, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the headpiece is pretty good. It's got haste and versatility. That's pretty much our stat priority. We want roughly around, I think, 20% versatility, 20% haste, and then like 15% mastery. Once you get around my item level, you'll pretty much, like in any PvP scenario, you're going to be like 22% on all three of those stats. And you want it in that order. So it's going to be verse, haste, and then mastery. Critical strike shouldn't even be on the list. That should be like the least of your stats, so just keep that in mind. So this helmet is honestly really solid because it's got haste and verse, and that's what we're looking for. As for the necklace, we're running the aspirant's necklace, which is haste verse. Shoulder pads, this is where things are kind of ugly. This is critical strike mastery. Mastery is good, but critical strike not so much. So what I would have done instead is I would come back to the war vendor here, and I plan to change this eventually, but what I would do is I would get the Forge Gladiators plate pauldrons, and I would run this because it's haste and versatility. Yeah, you lose the 4-set, but the stats are better. It's just better. And realistically, the 4-set kind of not that crazy. Like I personally like it and it's fun, but in terms of min-maxing, this is not the optimal way to do it. You would want to run the haste versatility shoulders over them. It's just better. As for our cloak, we are running the Forged Warmonger's cloak, which this is just the open world bloody token cloak. So it'll be right here. It costs 520 bloody tokens. You can get that very easily, especially right now. If you guys go over here to the PvP area, it's this zone right here. Well, I don't think it's actually PvP anymore. I think it changed. Actually, wait, hold on. I have to turn on war mode. 1 second. Turn that on real quick. And I think here is like, I think I was PvPing here earlier, and I think it changed. I think it moved the area. I don't know where the zone is now, but it definitely was somewhere. Oh, it's over here now. Okay, so this one, you can come over to this PvP area, and then you can just fight for hours and on hours. I was fighting at the other hour, for hours over here. So originally the PvP zone was here, and I was fighting in this spot for like an hour, and I got like 400 bloody tokens. So it was really fun, and I managed to get a ton of tokens. So if you're just grinding it out and fighting and having fun, you'll rack up the tokens. Not only that, but you also have the Sparks of War daily that you will get from the guy in the front. So this dude right here, if you talk to this guy, he'll have a daily here called Sparks of War, and you can, run that, and you'll get 1,000 bloody tokens for getting 100 Sparks of War. Really easy. And how you can go about that is go to the custom lobbies here, and you just type in Sparks, and then you just kind of like turn war mode on and just join one of the Sparks group. And then yeah, like right now there's only one group of Sparks going on, so you can just kind of it's late, it's like 1 a.m. for me, so keep that in mind. But yeah, you can go ahead and just join that up and then just run it, and then just kind of run people's pockets for like 2 hours, and then you'll get a ton of tokens. As for the enchant, we're running 160 speed, and then for the chest piece, we're running the Algari Competitor's Plate breastplate. This one is again really good. Some of you might be like, well, how come we don't just get the tier set? Once again, the tier set for PvP in terms of stats are not very good. The chest plate is, I believe, critical strike and haste. So while the haste is welcomed, the crit is not. So the Algari chest plate is honestly better, and you could theoretically go with the Forge Gladiator's chest plate, which has haste and versatility as well. But again, I wanted to save my conquest for other things, so I just decided to craft it, and it wasn't that expensive. For the season, it gives you like 9 of these Forge Gladiators heraldry, so I used 5 for the chest plate, and then I used another 4 for the bracers. Now for the bracers, I gotta be honest, I messed up here. I really messed up. So the stat priority is okay. Versatility mastery, I would not do that. I would run the verse haste instead, or haste verse. That makes more sense. But versatility mastery is not bad. It's just not optimal. And on top of that, I put an embellishment on here thinking that would enhance my other embellishment, which the Algari's competitor chest plate. This has the elemental focusing lens embellishment on here, and I didn't understand the embellishment system quite yet. So I was thinking that the embellishment that I put on these bracers would double the effect of my focusing lens embellishment on the chest, and it's only Nerubian embellishments. So the issue is I didn't know what a Nerubian embellishment was. I just thought that was the blanket term for the embellishments this expansion, because we're fighting the Nerubians, and they're Nerubian enemies. So I was like, oh, okay, these are just Nerubian embellishments because this of the expansion. So I kind of didn't put 2 and 2 together, and I fucked up. So this is a really bad embellishment. Don't put this on there. And again, the stat priority, not that great either. So do haste versatility and then put a better embellishment, or don't put one at all, whichever one you want. You could also subsequently save your tokens, and then you could also use your conquest, and then you could just buy your conquest gear. And these ones right here have haste and versatility, so I will most likely do a recraft order just so I can not have to spend more conquest and get these bracers fixed up. But if you have the conquest and you don't want to do any of the crafting stuff, you can just go ahead and buy these and you're good to go. I would say you could buy these bloody token version ones, but the problem is these are versatility mastery, and these aren't horrible per se. Again, the stat priority is not terrible. Verse mastery is okay, but not what you want. Haste verse is important. Now for the gloves, we are running the War Sculptor's gloves. These are okay, but the problem is, one, they don't scale in PvP because I didn't use the Harmonized Silk to turn them into that, but the stat priority on these would be okay. If we changed it up. And the thing is, I don't think I'm going to turn these into the PvP gear. I think I will most likely do a craft order for the Algari gloves, because I can put haste and versatility, and that's probably what I'm going to want. I will lose my 4-set tier, and that's okay. I'm comfortable with losing it, but just stat priority wise, haste and verse is just so much better. But I'm already over the limit anyway for like the optimal haste and versatility mastery, so I'm like 25% across the board for all of them for the most part whenever I go into a PvP setting. And when that happens, like obviously I'm just kind of stat padding and it doesn't really matter. So the critical strike can be kind of welcomed a little bit to a degree, but it's not very good. You would want the Algari gloves because you can put haste and versatility, and the War Sculptors are kind of a PvE glove. It doesn't make much sense. So if anything, just do the Algari gloves and you're chilling, and make sure you put haste and versatility on it. As for the belt, we are running the Forged Warmonger's class with haste and verse. This is once again the bloody token belt, which is right here, and you just grab this up and you're good to go. And then the leg pieces, we are running the War Sculptors tier. And these ones actually have good stat priority. It's haste and mastery. You would want haste versatility, but you want a little bit of mastery. So I wouldn't actually change these. If you're going to run a 2 set for your tier, do the helmet and do the leggings. The shoulders are terrible. The chest piece are also terrible, and the gloves are okay, but they're also terrible at the same time. Like all 3 of these are terrible. So you should run the 2 set for the helmet and leggings, and then do Algari gloves, and then do the, what the hell are these called? The shoulders or whatever. I'll do this guy really quick. Oh boy, DK life. Hell nah, buddy. Hold on. Boom. What's up, baby? What you doing, man? Can't win that. I'm him. And as you can see, we win the war of attrition. We typically will out DPS and out survive most players. And this guy, what is he? Unholy DK. This guy's pretty geared too. Like he's running arena gear too. Let me see. He's running the neck. Yeah, he's kind of more geared than me, low key. And his stat priority is much better, honestly. Yeah, he focuses a lot more on his stats. But as you can see, like I just. Like he's even got like he's got like the gems too. Like I don't even have gems either. So like I don't know. He's pretty geared. And I'd say he's just as geared as me, if not more geared. And his stat priority is a lot better. And he's probably running shit that makes more sense for his spec. And he's you know solid, but you can see how strong warrior can be in a duel. Just like the war of attrition, like he literally was dropping, like damn, he almost had me, and then I managed to, you know, bring it back with impending victory, popped a couple cooldowns, saved myself, and then I used my mandate as well. I'm gonna talk about this in a second, but this Mad Queen's mandate goes crazy, and yeah, it's really strong. It's super strong. So we'll win the war of attrition. The idea here is you survive anybody's initial burst. If you survive the initial burst, we win. We just win, because they will not be able to do that damage ever again. So if they're gonna kill me, they have to kill me with that burst. If they lose their burst, the next 2 minutes are gonna be excruciatingly painful for you. I don't remember where I was leaving off. I think it was the legs, but here again, once haste mastery, boots, we're running the haste versatility. This is okay. I wouldn't change these are actually really good. For the accessories, we're running Forge Gladiator's ring, haste verse, another PvP ring, haste verse. You could do the Algari ring if you want and craft it up and then do it that way, and put haste verse on it. So that's also an option. I just went with this because this is a, you know, cheaper option. And then Forge Aspirant's insignia, and then the Mad Queen's mandate. If you don't want to have, or if you don't have the Mad Queen's mandate, or you don't have, you know, another trinket that makes sense, use just the badge of ferocity. Totally fine. And then for our weapons, we're running the Forge Gladiator sword, and then we are also running the Gladiator shield. For enchants, the Defender's armor kit, and then boots, we're running Defender's march. The chest, Crystalline Radiance, cloak, 160 speed. Enchants on rings is 315 haste, and for the weapon, Authority of Radiant Power. So yeah, that's kind of really it. I do want to let you guys in on the tech really quick. So like, I want to show you guys this burst. Okay, so the Mad Queen's mandate. What you do, you just go in, you know, start doing your normal rotation, pop everything, you know, hit avatar, the whole 9 yards, and then you pop Mad Queen's mandate. Because whenever you pop the Mad Queen's mandate and you have everything turned up, watch this. Boom. Like that may not that seemed like a little number, but that number can go up as high as like 5 million. You can scare a player really quickly with the Mad Queen's mandate. It's a super strong trinket, and if you use it in the right setting, you will 1000% scare a player like into like shitting themselves. It does a lot of damage. But like I said, if you don't have it, then you just put on the badge and you're kind of chilling. As far as rotation goes, you don't really need to do anything crazy rotation wise. You just kind of, you just kind of need to run around with thunderclap, shield slam, revenge, execute, shield slam, revenge, thunderclap. Like you're just rotating between those abilities. And thunderclap is something that you want to utilize as much as possible. I'm going to also link you guys this this talent tree right here, so I'll go ahead and put an import link in the description and you guys can go ahead and put that in. But as far as your PvP talents, Thunderstruck must have, because you root targets in place, and this doesn't have like a number cap to my knowledge. I don't think I think maybe the skill does. Let me see. Blast all enemies within 12 yards for, so yeah, I mean, deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. So yeah, it doesn't really affect this, right? So basically Thunderstruck will root everybody. Like you'll just dive into a ball, hit Thunderclap, and everybody's like, whoa, why can't I move? And this is also just extremely good at locking down targets, and you can just like, like target focus somebody and then just keep thunder striking them, and they're rooted over and over and over again until the reset, and you just keep rooting them, and then you're just locking them down, being as annoying as physically possible, and then you're just constantly just being super like weird, and it's super annoying. This is especially very effective against healers, because what I like to do is I'll find a healer and I'll be like, dude, your cheek's mine. I'm not letting you go. And I'm just holding them in place until the Diddy party shows up. That's pretty much what's happening. And then for the next perk, we're running Oppressor. This is really strong because I usually play with people. So whenever we're focusing a target, especially a healer, this is, again, really, really good for whenever we need to focus a target down and kill them, because they take increased damage. So this is just a really, really solid talent. I highly recommend you run this on them ASAP. I don't actually have this on my bar, which I need to, because I had it on my bar, but I changed it for one of my trinkets. So I need to put this probably like, I don't know, maybe like, I don't really need this mount. I'll just put this mount over here for right now. So yeah, Oppressor, really strong. And then Morale Killer, I think this one's really solid because you can just like have your demoralizing shout up more often than usual, and then on top of that, it now reduces the damage it does to all like targets. So my allies and stuff will take reduced damage. This is just, again, really good for team fighting. And as I mentioned, I am a battleground player. I'm a team fighter, so I prefer to have any kind of supportive capabilities. And Morale Killer and Oppressor both fit the bill. Oppressor for taking out a specific target that needs to die, and then Morale Killer for keeping my guys alive, or at least helping them stay alive. Some honorable mentions, the Battlefield Commander is also a really good one. Warbringer's kind of good. I don't think you need this though, because what you do is you just like charge in, and then you'll hit them with hamstring, and then you're just stuck on them. And then you also have the root from Thunderstruck, so this doesn't really make a lot of sense. But if you're not running Thunderstruck, which you should, that's non-negotiable. But for whatever reason, if you're not, Warbringer I guess works. But again, Thunderstruck over Warbringer. But if you want to have multiple roots, I guess this works. Another honorable mention is Disarm, Shield Bash. Both of these are pretty good. Disarm's kind of good for dueling. I don't necessarily think that this makes a lot of sense for large scale. Like if you're just kind of fighting people one-on-one or anything like that, or I don't know, just a weird small setting, maybe this makes sense, but I really don't think that this is good for large scale. Shield Bash, same situation. I feel like this is kind of a selfish thing. It's kind of self-explanatory for yourself. It's not really used for anything else for the most part. And I want to talk about Dragon's Charge because I have seen this skill be used quite a bit. And I'm gonna be honest with you, every warrior I have ever seen use Dragon's Charge just runs away. They just use it as an escape tool, which for me, I play warrior differently. I don't run. I do not run. I'm in there. I'm most likely dying in the ball. If my healers don't keep me up, I'm dying in the ball. But I am never running away unless I have like an opportunity where it makes sense, where I'm like fighting 100 people by myself and it's like, well, I might as well run, right? But like if my team is there and I've got people behind me, and especially if I have a healer, I'm staying in the ball. And Dragon's Charge, every time I've ever seen a warrior use this, all they do is they just kite, run away, and they're never fighting. Like they're never in the team fight. They're never doing anything productive. They're just running away, being a buzzing fly in a corner. And that is not what warrior excels in. If you are using Dragon's Charge in that way, you are wrong. It also kind of like displaces them too. So like I also don't want to do that. Like knocking them away makes no sense because you want to get in there and then hold them down. And if you Dragon Charge at somebody, they're just going to fly away. Makes no sense. Which is why when people use it, they use it running away because it knocks them back and then they propels them forward. So that's why people use it, is because it's a good knockback tool and you can get away. That's why it's used that in that method. But I hate it. I hate running away. It's the worst feeling in the world. I hate running. It sucks. Like it's just not fun. I want to kill you. I don't want to run from you. Like I hate that. It's not in my blood, dude. My DNA does not allow me to run away. So yeah, Dragon's Charge, it's cool in theory. I guess if your play style is running away, by all means, it's not me though. It's not for me. But yeah, that's kind of really it. There's not really a whole lot to it. Again, you're just kind of doing the usual stuff, you know what I mean? You're not going too crazy. You're just kind of popping, you know, cooldowns and hitting things and doing big dick damage. That's kind of just what you're doing. And then it's a war of attrition. Always remember, it's never burst damage. You're never gonna burst somebody down really quickly. It's always gonna be war of attrition. If they burst you and you survive the burst, you're just gonna full heal, do a bunch of mitigation, and realistically just kind of, you know, get back up to normal HP, and you're gonna be able to survive it and then kill them, and it's gonna feel pretty good. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, any comments, concerns, whatever, I will do my best to answer them down below. But yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.